All right, everybody, welcome to my how-to on how I clean hats. Let's get into it. So first up, you're gonna need a dirty hat, which this one I just got in is absolutely disgusting. As you can see, it is on the game. The sweatband is supposed to be white and it is brown. So first couple things we're gonna need is this. Again, this is what I use, this is what I found luck with, and this is what everybody has reached out to me about. So I'm gonna show you how I do it. I've got a PVC mixing stick. I've got a 5-gallon bucket. I have got regular blue dish soap. And then this stuff right here, Arm & Hammer with Oxy, the gel. And then the most crucial part about this hat in specific is gonna be the Awesome Spray. So this you can only find at Dollar Tree. You cannot find it anywhere else. So we're gonna get right into it. There's a couple very important parts here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray the inside of this sweatband, get it good and saturated, and then I'm gonna sit it out here in the sun. The most important part is we don't want this to dry on the hat. If it dries on the hat, it's gonna cook it. And when I say cook it, it will cook it, I promise you. So I'm gonna spray this and then I'm gonna set a 10-minute timer. While this is soaking in the sun, I'm gonna fill up my bucket with water, Dawn dish soap, and the Oxy gel, and we'll go from there. But first, let's get to spraying. So I do not waste a drop. I try not to spray it on the tag because it will fade out the tag, but when a hat is in this bad of condition, I would rather have a clean sweatband and a faded out tag than not a clean hat. So we're gonna spray, and also there's a bunch of yellowing on the backside of the actual logo itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna essentially soak this freaking hat. I can't tell if this is a truly just completely faded hat or it's just that dirty. So I'm gonna just go ahead and spray the whole dang thing. Again, the most important part is we do not want this to dry on the hat, which with how much I'm spraying, I don't see that being an issue. I'm gonna go ahead and get the under brim. You probably should wear gloves with this, but I don't really care, whatever. So my hat is saturated. So now I'm gonna stick this thing with the sweatband facing the sun and just let it sit for 10 minutes. Set a timer as soon as you start spraying this, because 10 minutes, you need to be pulling it out. All right, so it is fully in the sun with the sweatband facing up. Now I've got a timer going. I'm gonna get my bucket ready. So for starters, I just let the ancestors take over. It's one hat. I'm gonna do about that much of blue Dawn dish soap. We're gonna call that 1-to-1. It's gonna look like that. And now I'm gonna fill it up, very important, cold water only. Been out in the sun, my hose has, so I'm gonna let this run for a second. There we go, it's nice and cold. And I'm literally gonna fill the bucket up about halfway, something where when I put the hat in, it's fine. It's gonna be completely submerged. That's arguably one of the dirtiest hats I've ever seen in my life. And I really can't tell if it's a sun-faded black or it's just disgusting. Okay, so our bucket is filled up. Now we're gonna wait the rest of the freaking 10 minutes. And we'll go from there. All right, so my 10 minutes is up. So now I'm gonna grab the hat. It is still good and saturated, which is what we want. So now I'm literally going to slowly lower this into the cold bucket of water. You don't want to throw it in, mix it around, just slowly let it in. So I can already see how disgusting it is. The dirt is literally in the foam. So we're gonna let this sit now for 30 minutes and then we'll pull it out and go over it again. So in the sun for 10, in the cold water for 30. So we're gonna say 30-minute timer and then we'll come back. So our 30-minute timer is up. Let's take a look. So I can already see it's disgusting. The water through the suds, you can see the water is brown. Yeah, so it's made the suds brown. So what we're gonna do I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna agitate it a little bit, just kind of shake it as I'm pulling it out. And yeah, this water's disgusting. So this is kind of kicking off all of the dirt, debris, all of the stainage. The sweatband was my major concern. So after this, I'm gonna see kind of what it looks like going forward if I need to do another soak. So we're agitating. Yeah, this water's brown. Okay. So it cleaned up the sides quite well, but right here is still pretty nasty. So what I'm gonna do now is, typically I would rinse it, let it air dry, then do it again. But what I'm gonna do is rinse it, quickly pat it and squeeze it with a towel, dry it as much as I can, spray it again, let it sit in the sun. So we're gonna rinse this off now. Now we rinse. And sometimes when the hat is really bad, it's not a one and done kind of thing. Sometimes you need to do this process like 3 or 4 times. I had a Bulls splash that it was a black gum and the splash was white, but the splash was actually brown. Like, it was so stained, it looked like it was intentionally brown. So don't get discouraged if after the first one you're like, it still looks the same. Just keep trying, keep doing it again. Stick to the rule: 10 minutes in the sun, 30 minutes in the water, cold water. And the main thing is, do not let that awesome sauce dry on your hat. One more thing I'll always recommend is never start with a grail. If you're getting into chemicals, start with something you don't mind messing up, just in the off chance you do mess up. And if you do mess up, it's fine. It's all about trial and error, learning as you go. All right, so we're fully rinsed out now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wring this out nice, wring it out, get all the water out of the material. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take just a towel, I'm gonna wipe off the exterior. I'm not gonna spray the exterior this time. I'm literally just gonna spray the sweatband. And we're gonna do it again. So I'm gonna dry off the sweatband halfway decent. And as you see, that tag faded out just a little bit. That's fine, I don't care. Again, this hat was so cooked, I'll take a faded out sweatband. Hell, I'll cut the sweatband off if it means that the sweatband doesn't look like what it did. All right, so now that our sweatband, both sides, are nice and dry-ish, we're gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna spray it, I'm gonna saturate it, and I'm gonna sit it out in the sun for 10 minutes. Awesome spray. Spray, 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 spray. It's mainly right where whoever wore this, their forehead was. Guys, clean your hats too. Clean your hats. Even if you're not getting into chemicals, clean your hats. It's just gonna give you acne on your forehead if you don't. All right, so we're good and saturated. I'm gonna set it back out in the sun for another 10 minutes. All right, so we're posted up on the house now. Now let's see what this water looks like. I don't know if you guys can, but I'm gonna dump it and then I'm gonna wash off my, look at it. Look at it. It is brown. So now I'm obviously gonna refresh the water. I'm not gonna put it back into dirty water. So I'm gonna clean off my porch here now that I just dirtied it up. And I'm gonna redo what I just did. So a little bit of Dawn dish soap, a little bit of that Arm & Hammer OxiClean gel detergent, cold water. 1-to-1 Dawn dish soap and that Arm & Hammer OxiClean, cold water. I'm not using as much soap and detergent this time around just because it's not super needed. The hat actually is pretty clean right now. After this soak, I'm thinking it should be good. So after this soak, we're gonna take it inside into the sink, scrub. So we haven't scrubbed anything yet. We're literally just letting it sit and soak. That's it. The Awesome Spray is doing most of the work right now. Once it's done doing its thing, we'll take it inside into the sink, dump the water into the sink, and then we'll scrub and get all the rest of the junk out. Then we're gonna bring it back outside to dry. All right, and our second 10 minutes is up. So same thing, we're gonna just slowly descend it into the cold water with soap and detergent. Slowly. And a reminder, everybody, you're gonna find your own way on how to clean hats. This is just the way that I have done it for the past 6 months, and I've only cooked one hat, and it was my mistake. The way I cooked it was I left that Awesome Spray on a wool New York Yankees hat. It was about $125 hat, legitimately, and I just got way too comfortable cleaning hats, and complacency is where mistakes lie. And I left it out in the sun way too long, completely cooked the entire thing. And once it gets to that point, I can't fix it anymore. I scrapped it for parts. I pulled the button off, I pulled the snaps off, and called it a day. So don't get complacent and just do what works best for you. This is just what has worked best for me. This Texas heat is no joke. So I set a 10-minute timer. I am outside at 9 minutes, grabbing it and slowly descending it into the tub of cold water. Now, in a little more climates where it's not as bright, you could probably get away with it. I just don't want to risk that anymore. So I always set a 10-minute timer, and now that it's in the water, I'm going to set a 30-minute timer. And then after this 30 minutes, it should be good to go. So I'll see you guys in 30 minutes. So now that we have done 2 soak sessions outside, we're bringing it inside. I've got the sink clogged. Put it in the sink, and I'm gonna give it one last little spin. Just kick off any last minute stuff that's deciding to stick on, and the water is a lot more clean, which tells me I think we got most of it. I could probably do another one, but I think we're okay. So here's what it looks like now, which right now the sweatband still doesn't look great right here, but after some time in the sun, I promise you, it's gonna look fantastic. So now that I've shaken it off a little bit, what we're gonna do is dump it into the clogged sink. And I've been using a travel toothbrush since I started because it's hard enough to get the crap off and soft enough for hats. So now I'm gonna take some of the suds. Oh, it looks like that came off. That's okay. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna scrub the inside of the sweatband, just like so. Just go to town on it. Be rough with the sweatband. You can be a little more gentle with the exterior of the hat, but go to town on that sweatband. So we're gonna get all over. We're gonna get sweatband under the brim. We're gonna do the outside too. And again, I don't know if this is a faded hat or it was just that dirty. We will see once it dries. But I'm willing to bet it wasn't as faded as I think it was. So you're gonna get all the exterior. Don't miss a piece. And then we'll go back in with the sweatband one more time. Okay. So we've scrubbed it nice and good. We're gonna drain the water. We're gonna rinse it really good. And now we're gonna go throw it outside in the sunlight because the sun is what's gonna do the last little bit of work in whitening that sweatband up. So we're gonna dry it, sweatband up. Rinse it off as we go. Make sure all the suds are gone. This is the tedious part. So almost every hat that you see on my shows gets this. So it takes a whole minute. The trial of love. We're gonna do this all in one take. Ready, set, go. Oop. So we are heading back outside. All right, and I'm gonna take my towel one more time, and I am just going to dry off the outside. Not too bad. I mean, it's gonna dry out in the sun here in like an hour just because it's Texas and it's hot as shit outside. But I'm just gonna dry it off a little bit more. And I'm gonna set it on the patio, and when it's fully dry, I'll come back, see what she looks like. I have faith that it's gonna clean up quite well. So we're gonna set it sweatband up where it's fully in the sun, just like so, fully in the sun. So we'll come back and see what it looks like once it's dry. All right, so we're gonna do a quick little update, see what it looks like. So it actually looks pretty good. It's not really doing it justice just because I'm in the shade, but it actually has, most of it has come out. So I'm gonna let it sit in the sun a little longer. I'm gonna take it inside, shape it up, and I'm gonna do like my little video that I always do in front of my hat rack, and we'll see what the after product looks like. Almost there. All right, so it should be dry now. Let's take a peek. So this actually looks pretty freaking good, I'm not gonna lie. So now I'm gonna take it inside, throw it on my hat shaper and shape it. And maybe I'll do another video one day on, if you don't have a hat shaper, how you can shape hats too. But I'm gonna get this shaped up, steamed, all that good stuff. So it turns out the hat was just genuinely all over faded. I was kind of hoping it wasn't, but it is what it is. I probably won't run this one in Snapback 4 because if it's not to my standard, then I'm not running it. But this was a good example of how to clean a hat. So I'm gonna get it shaped up, and then the next video you see will be in front of my rack being like, "Aww," all that good jabs. So see you guys in just a sec. All right guys, so here is the final product. 3, 2, 1. Miami Hurricanes. The outside is clean. It does have an all over fade, but the money maker is, so I'll put a little before and after, but that is how I get my sweatbands looking like they do. It's a good little everyday wear hat, but that is where we're at. So yeah, thank you guys for coming to my first ever how-to cleaning video, which is crazy that anybody wanted me to even make one of those. But if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Remember, if you're going to use that awesome spray, 10 minutes only, and then only put it into cold water. And yeah, if you guys ever have any questions, please reach out to me here or on Instagram is at donahue.vintage.snaps. Love you, Blue, and love you. Mean it. Bye.